Welcome to Jim Rohn-inspired Wisdom Channel, the channel where timeless wisdom meets daily action. If you're ready to level up your habits, sharpen your mindset, and live with purpose, you're in the right place. Here, we don't chase hype. We build discipline. We don't wish for change. We work for it. So hit that subscribe button, and let's raise the standard together. Now, let's get into today's message. Mastering the Art of Daily Excellence, featuring the timeless philosophy of Jim Rohn. The power of daily decisions. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the fundamentals. Now, I don't know what brought you here today, but I do know this. If you're listening, it means you're looking for something more. More clarity. More discipline. Maybe more results. And that's a good place to start. But let me remind you of something simple and profound. Success is built, not found. Too many people are out there looking for breakthroughs in all the wrong places. Chasing secrets, hoping for luck, waiting on their big moment to arrive. But the truth is, your big moment won't come from a single event. It will come from what you do daily. See, excellence is not a single act. It's a way of living. It's not what you do once in a while that defines you. It's what you do consistently, every day, whether anyone's watching or not. That's the real test. People ask me, Jim, what's the shortcut? And I tell them, the shortcut is the long way done every single day. Now I want to challenge a myth right here at the start, the myth of overnight success. There's no such thing. Success doesn't show up uninvited. It shows up for those who prepare. It finds the people who've paid the price, day by day, task by task, discipline by discipline. What looks like a sudden rise is usually the result of years of invisible effort. So today, I want to talk to you about mastering something most people overlook, the art of daily excellence. In this message, we're going to cover what it really means to make excellence a lifestyle, how to build habits that generate daily momentum, why mastering your mornings gives you the edge for peak performance, the secret power of relentless consistency and unshakable discipline, and the mindset that helps you develop mental toughness and take decisive action, even when it's hard. This message is for the entrepreneur who's tired of inconsistency, the athlete who's hit a plateau, the parent, the leader, the dreamer who knows there's more in them, but they're not quite sure how to bring it out. If that's you, then welcome. You're in the right place. Because once you understand the power of your daily decisions, you won't leave your success to chance. 1. Excellence is a lifestyle, not a moment. You know, one of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that excellence is something you turn on when the lights are bright, when the meeting starts, when the opportunity shows up. But let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. Excellence isn't something you do. It's something you become. It's not a performance you put on. It's a standard you hold yourself to every single day, whether there's an audience or not. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. You don't become excellent in the moment. You become excellent because of your moments, your daily ones. The small ones. The ones no one sees. That's where the real work happens. Now, here's a powerful principle. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. What does that mean? It means you don't succeed because you want to. You succeed because you've built the structure to support it. You've designed your life in a way that aligns with who you want to become. And that's the key. Excellence is not an event. It's a lifestyle. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a standard for how you show up, or do you leave it up to how you feel? You see, your feelings will lie to you. They'll tell you to sleep in, to wait till later, to settle for good enough. But your standards, those are different. Standards don't waver. And when your life is built on standards instead of emotions, you become someone the world can count on. And more importantly, someone you can count on. That's what we're really after here. Not perfection, but a kind of internal consistency. A way of living that's not swayed by moods, opinions, or the weather. A kind of quiet excellence that builds over time. And that's the kind of person success finds. Let me tell you, you don't get in life what you want. You get in life what you are. So the question is, who are you becoming? That answer is not found in your vision board or your social media posts. It's found in how you live on a Tuesday afternoon, in how you speak to people when you're tired, in what you choose when no one is watching. That's where your real power is. So here's the challenge. Raise your standards, upgrade your identity, and begin treating excellence like a requirement, not a reward. Because when excellence becomes a way of life, success doesn't just happen, it becomes inevitable. 2. Building daily habits that create momentum. Now let me tell you something that changed my life. Your future is hidden inside your daily routine. That's right. It's not in your dreams, not in your intentions, not in your goals. It's in your habits, the little decisions you make every single day. And here's the truth. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. You see, you don't need a dramatic overhaul. You don't need to change everything overnight. What you need is to choose a few simple disciplines and then do them again tomorrow. And the next day. And the next. That's how momentum is built. Not with intensity, but with consistency. Let me give you an example. You read 10 pages of a good book today. Not a big deal. But do that every day for a year, and you've read 12 full books. You didn't need to rush. You didn't need a breakthrough. Just steady, daily input. That's how the mind grows. That's how the character builds. That's how the needle moves. And let me remind you, habits are not just actions, they're identity-building tools. Every time you follow through on a habit, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Now you say, Jim, where do I start? Start with what I call the core disciplines. These are the small hinges that swing big doors. A few minutes of planning your day. A consistent wake-up time. Daily exercise. Time for reflection or journaling. Reading something that challenges your thinking. Reaching out to someone with encouragement or value. These aren't huge moves, but they carry huge power, because what they really do is build self-trust. And that's the engine of confidence. You start believing in yourself, not because you feel motivated, but because you've proven you're someone who shows up. And once you have that, you're unstoppable. Now let me warn you, the opposite is also true. Neglect has a compounding effect, too. A few errors in judgment, repeated every day, and you've got a recipe for failure. The small decisions matter. And if you keep putting them off, one day you'll look up and wonder how you ended up so far from where you meant to go. But you don't have to end up there. You can start today, right now, by asking, what's one habit I can do today that my future self will thank me for? Then do it. And tomorrow, do it again. Because each day you follow through, you're not just checking a box. You're building momentum. You're building character. You're building a life. That's the art of daily excellence. 3. Mastering your mornings for peak performance. You've probably heard it said, the way you start your day determines how you live your day. And I'll tell you, it's true. Your morning is either a launch pad or a liability. Now, I didn't always understand the power of mornings. There was a time when I let the day just happen to me. I'd wake up late, rush through the first few hours, and wonder why I felt behind all day long. Then I learned something simple but profound. Either you run the day, or the day runs you. And for most people, the day is running them full speed. But here's the secret. When you win the morning, you build momentum for the entire day. So how do we do that? We build what I call a morning rhythm, not just a routine, but a rhythm that sets your mindset, your energy, and your priorities in motion. Let me share a few cornerstones of a powerful morning. 1. Wake up on purpose, not by accident. Set a consistent wake-up time. Don't snooze your future away. That alarm clock isn't just a sound, it's a decision point. A moment where you tell your body and your mind, we're in charge today. 2. Feed your mind before the world feeds it for you. Don't start with social media. Don't start with email. Start with truth. Read something that sharpens your thinking. Listen to something that lifts your spirit. Stand guard at the door of your mind, I always say, because what you let in first tends to stay the longest. 3. Move your body. You don't have to run a marathon, just move. Walk, stretch, breathe deeply. When you move your body, you wake up your mind. And that energy? It becomes fuel for everything else you do. 4. Clarify your intentions. Ask yourself, what matters most today? What are my top 3 outcomes? If you don't plan your priorities, you'll end up reacting to someone else's. Remember, urgency and importance are not the same. Choose wisely. And here's the key, this rhythm doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Something that grounds you. Something that reminds you of who you are and where you're going. Let me say it again. The morning is your foundation. If it's weak, the rest of your day will wobble. But if it's strong, you can face anything. Don't leave your mornings to chance. Don't leave your energy, your mindset, or your focus in the hands of the world. Take command. Lead yourself before you lead your day. Because the person who wins the morning eventually wins the life. 4. Relentless consistency and discipline. Now let's talk about something most people try to avoid: discipline. But let me tell you, if there's one word that separates those who dream from those who do, it's this one: discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. See, motivation gets you going. But discipline, that's what keeps you growing. Discipline is what you do after the excitement fades, after the mood changes, after the challenge shows up. It's the quiet force behind every success story. And here's what I've learned. You don't need to be extreme. You just need to be consistent. Most people think success requires giant leaps. It doesn't. It requires small, focused steps taken every single day. That's why I say, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. It's easy to make the call, easy to read the chapter, easy to walk the mile, but it's also easy to skip, easy to postpone, easy to forget. And that's where the danger is, not in the big mistakes, but in the small neglects. Because here's the truth, neglect is just as powerful as discipline. One leads to regret, the other leads to results. Now, people ask me, Jim, how do I become more disciplined? And the answer is simple, but not easy. You decide. You decide that your future matters more than your comfort. You decide that your standards will lead your actions, not your feelings. And then, you practice. You train it. Just like a muscle. You get up when you said you would. You do the work, even when no one's watching. You show up, every day, regardless of how you feel. That's called relentless consistency. And it's the foundation of all excellence. You see, anyone can be great once in a while. But to be excellent every day, that takes discipline. And when discipline becomes part of your identity, everything changes. You become the kind of person who follows through. You start trusting yourself again. And your results stop being random and start becoming predictable. Because success isn't about luck. It's about structure. It's about choosing the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. So today, make that choice. Not once, but every time it counts. Every time it's hard. Every time it's inconvenient. Because when your discipline becomes stronger than your excuses, your potential becomes limitless. 5. The mindset of mental toughness and decisive action. Now let's go a little deeper into the mindset behind all this. Because discipline is important. Consistency matters. But if your mind isn't right, you'll quit when it gets tough. And let me tell you something, it will get tough. Life doesn't hand you success just because you want it. You've got to earn it. And that requires a kind of strength most people never develop, mental toughness. Now when I say mental toughness, I don't mean pretending everything's fine. I'm not talking about denying emotion or pushing problems aside. No, mental toughness is about learning to respond instead of react. It's the mindset that says, I don't shrink from the challenge, I rise to it. I don't wait for the perfect conditions, I create them. I don't let fear make my choices, I let purpose lead the way. And here's the secret to building mental toughness. You make a decision, and then you back it up with action. That's it. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. That's what I've always said. Because every time you hesitate, every time you delay, every time you wait for clarity before you move, you're training your brain to second-guess your own potential. Now don't misunderstand, think, plan, reflect. But once it's time to move, you move. Decisiveness is a skill. It's a muscle. And the more you use it, the more confidence you build. The more you hesitate, the weaker your will becomes. Mental toughness isn't about being perfect. It's about being committed. Committed to your values. Committed to your priorities. Committed to doing the right thing even when it's uncomfortable. Because let me tell you, the world won't always applaud your efforts. There will be critics. There will be delays. There will be days you don't feel like it. But you show up anyway. Why? Because you've made a decision. To live at a higher standard. Not because it's easy. Not because it's popular. But because that's who you've decided to become. So here's the question I want you to ask. What kind of person makes the kind of decisions I want to be known for? Then go be that person. Start small if you have to. But start. Because when your mind becomes stronger than your mood, your future becomes stronger than your past. 6. Daily excellence attracts success. Now let me give you one last truth to take with you. Success is something you attract by the person you become. You don't chase it. You don't beg for it. You don't stumble into it. You attract it by living a life that deserves it. And how do you do that? By choosing daily excellence. Let me remind you, success doesn't show up to the unprepared. It doesn't visit the inconsistent. It finds the person who decided long ago to raise their standards and keep them there. It finds the person who shows up early, who finishes what they start, who does the hard thing when no one's looking, who honors their word even when it costs. That person? They don't have to hope success finds them. Because they become magnetic to it. That's what daily excellence does. It rewires your habits. It sharpens your thinking. It elevates your energy. And eventually, it transforms your identity. So don't worry about chasing big wins. Focus on the small disciplines. Do the work. Keep the promise. Show up daily. Because every time you do, you're not just building habits, you're building you. And when you rise, the results follow. That's how high achievers do it. Not by working harder one day, but by showing up every day with intention, with consistency, and with standards that don't bend just because it's hard. You don't attract success by what you want. You attract it by who you are. And if you'll commit to mastering daily excellence, success won't be something you chase. It will be something that starts chasing you. So here we are. You've heard the truth. Now the question is, what will you do with it? Will you go back to what's familiar, or will you raise the standard? Because here's what I know. You cannot change your life until you change something you do daily. Today is the day you draw the line. Not tomorrow. Not next Monday. Now, make the decision that your life will no longer be a product of your moods, but a reflection of your standards. Decide that average is no longer acceptable, that excuses are no longer valid, and that daily excellence is no longer optional. It's the requirement. Because this isn't about hype. This is about identity. It's about deciding. This is who I am now. Someone who doesn't just dream of greatness, but lives in a way that demands it. So rise early. Think clearly. Act decisively. And live daily with the kind of excellence that becomes undeniable. Not once. Not occasionally. Every single day. That's how you change your life. And that is the art of daily excellence. And remember, you don't need a new year. You need a new standard. You don't need more time. You need more intention. The life you want isn't built in some day. It's built in every single day, one habit, one choice, one act of excellence at a time. If today's message spoke to you, don't just hear it. Apply it. Because transformation begins the moment you start living what you've learned. So here's your next step. Hit that subscribe button to join a community committed to growth. Like the video if you got value. And share it with someone who's ready to raise their standard. Leave a comment below. What's one daily habit you're committed to mastering starting today? We read every comment. We grow together. And we'll see you in the next video. Until then, live with discipline, act with purpose, and lead with excellence.